Hello and welcome to Football in High Heels Presents, the very first show of the season, because life gets in the way and sometimes, there just aren't enough hours in the day to actually film while working two jobs. Anyway, I'm Sammy, I'm back, and today we're actually really not discussing football, but for those of you that are watching, we have the Eagles versus the Patriots in there, and because even though Colleen can't be here, I love her very much. I won't say how I'm feeling about that particular lineup, especially since I live in Pittsburgh and the Steelers didn't make it. But, anyway, onward and upwards. Anyway, we're here to discuss something actually quite serious today, the whole US Gymnastics scandal, and Katrina's here with me to discuss it. Welcome back.
Thanks.
So you know more about this than I do. I've been following, what you've been posting, what Colleen's been posting, of course, the stuff that's been on the news, but explain exactly what happened.
Explain this from a man's perspective in that found out, so to speak. Started I'm thinking that's right, spring of 2015 is when Nassar retired AG. And those of us on the jet here, USAG's gym team from Rio worlds, like it was really strange. It was really bizarre and what's going on, but we all thought it was really. And then 20 round Rio games had the final from the Indy Star comes out, sure, but about Andrew McCabe, who was a gymnastics who was being prosecuted for sex crimes and subpoenaed for his file. He was a doctor that is accused. A file and letter is sent to US Gymnastics. Gymnastics was subpoenaed. In this case, the prosecution was saying USAG knew about this coach and did nothing to stop him from club hopping to other gyms. What I heard was several inches thick. Yeah. So that's what's starting, is that this report about covering up of abuses in USAG and USAG club gyms saw this report and emailed the Indy Star saying, it to your investigation, but inmate Nassar. Of her coming for saying that she will file reports, police. She's if listeners don't know, she has a background, and so she came forward and started this ball rolling and sent USAG towards Michigan State, and of other women coming forward, and they were also abused. And that started the whole process rolling around, and then for possessing child, found 37,000 images.
What? 30? How did he get this? I mean, how does this even
happen? Because this whole mess is that he forgot how many counts it was.
Oh my God. And these girls were minors when this happened. I just want to make this clear. Most of these girls were minors, correct? Honey, I think we lost you. Trina, are you still there? You're like frozen.
I
Anyway,
can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I think something went on. Anyway, for those of you that are watching, while we figure out our technical difficulty, we were talking about the US gymnastics
Can you
scandal.
hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay, she's back. Okay, so continue, sweetheart. Okay. I think we lost you again. I'm going to send you a new invite, but those of you who are paying attention, yeah, there's like it looks like you're freezing or something. There you go.
So you.
What is going on right now?
Please.
Okay, you're like totally frozen. I sent you a new invite, but those of you who are watching, we're discussing the Larry Nassar scandal where over 100 victims in US gymnastics were abused in a sexual manner. And I just want to say it's absolutely disgusting that this monster got away with this for so long. And like I was saying, I believe at the time some of these girls were minors, which makes it even more disgusting. And I just want to know where everybody was when this was happening. I mean, first of all, what I want to know is why weren't these girls being protected? How did people not know what was going on? And just the whole thing just makes me absolutely sick. And I just, as it was announced yesterday, he's getting up to 175 years in jail, which to me, even though he'll be long dead by the time the 75 years, 175 years are up, it's still not enough. Okay, Katrina's back.
I have no idea what happened. Can
I
you
have
hear
no idea
me?
what happened either, but basically, I was just recapping what you were saying that Larry Nassar's, basically a monster, and 175 years in jail isn't enough.
Yeah, so he was charged with, but he took a plea deal, I guess. 60 years in jail, federal jail for the child pornography. So, yeah. He is charged with 7 counts of in Ingham County, Michigan. The women that were under the statute of limitations, and Stevens was the other one, was out of statute of limitations, but that's because hers was. And so he deal for that as well. And part of the plea deal was the prosecution office and his defense team, where he had to listen to any impact statements after the 7 impact statements. So that's how we got to the 160 odd. So that's where we are today. He has one more trial in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I don't know how many charges there are for that one. Named in at least suits.
It's still not enough. It's absolutely not enough. You know what I went through when I was younger. I know how these girls feel, and it just breaks my heart that this is it. This is all they're doing to him. I mean, really, what the f more? What? I have no words, but it's absolutely disgusting. And I do want to bring up the child pornography thing that we were just starting to discuss before we got cut off. How does that even happen? Did he have like a hidden camera or something?
There, at least 2 of his victims were photographed, videotaped. Jordan Weber, Michaela Maroney, and another victim were either photographed and or videoed. Unfortunately, it wasn't all his. Let me say that. It's making. He did not make the child pornography. His computer. So it's like downloading any other kind of porn.
how does this even happen? How the hell did anyone even get these girls in these situations?
That's a whole other topic. Trafficking is a huge deal in the United States, and it's something that doesn't get talked about. Young girls are sex trafficked to make child pornography. And child pornography has different levels on the age of the child. And unfortunately, that's just our world. So I don't know what is consistent of. I can take a guess, and I don't want to because it's disgusting, but it's available, unfortunately. And, you know, it kind of, it's not just in the US too. There's a lot of sex trafficking around the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't understand how this could have happened. And I mean, obviously, these girls didn't consent to any of this, and it just makes me so sick. I mean, I literally want to run back there and vomit my brains out and scream and cry because I'm so disgusted and frustrated that this could even happen. And these poor girls, they were babies, and I just have no words. And what I'm confused about was with the doctor is, did he like also molest him during appointments? That's what I'm a little confused about as well.
So that's the other issue. So, bad man. He is not the head of the problem. Gymnastics, it's not about just gymnastics. This happens in every single sport.
Right, exactly.
Out there are bad people, and in gymnastics, it's not. It's a tiny amount of the great coaches. What's the issue in gymnastics is the culture of fear. These girls and boys too are taught, does it, don't question it, don't speak up if something doesn't feel right because the coach knows what they're doing. And so that's one of the issues that is finally being talked about, is this culture of. So while we cut off a part of the snake, and you know, there's been a lot of discussion, in the internet community about and what should be done and all that. And finally, after this all happened, there's going to be a bill at least brought to the House vote. It's already passed the Senate. It just needs to pass the House. That every national governing body for an Olympic sport it becomes a mandated reporter. So that if somebody goes to a coach in that sport and says, I was sexually assaulted, or this other coach is doing this to me, would be required by law to report them to the national governing body and or authorities. So yeah, that's the other issue. So the other issue with Nassar is that there are all these people still in place.
Of course.
Kathy Klages, who has since retired, was the head of the Michigan State gymnastics team, knew that he had been abusing girls because two of her gymnasts came to her and said, defendant Nassar sexually assaulted us. And she told them,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't care who you are. I don't give a flying fig what your role is or what the laws are. Someone comes to you, some child comes to you and says, I've been abused. You do F everything. F it all. Go to the effing police and report it. Everything should go out the window for it. I don't understand. What the hell is this coach's problem? Where she's like, oh, we're just going to sweep it under the rug, or it's the girl's lying, or this is the way. No. My daughter or my son came to me, or any kid for that matter, came to me and said, look, I'm being abused. You know what? I'm taking that kid to the police. We're reporting it. We're getting the kid's parents. We're reporting it. And we're going to make sure this MFer is going to end up in jail, because no one should ever allow a kid to be abused like this. These people should all rot. I know you agree. You know my story, and I'm not sharing all of it on air, but you know what I went through, and thank you, Jesus, for my mother believing me and getting me through it and basically screaming until someone attempted to do something about it. I mean, first of all, where were these girls' parents? I mean, I'm sure obviously they told their mothers what was going on. I mean, I told my mother,
No, well, that's the thing. They didn't because defendant Nassar was a master manipulator. He knew how to groom these girls because of this culture, knew how to groom them so that they thought this was a legitimate medical treatment. And sometimes the parents were in the room.
In the room while all this was happening?
Mm-hmm. And he was able to position himself over the table so that they couldn't see.
Oh, no. When I have kids, no, I'm going to be watching every little thing the doctor does. And if there's something I don't like, you better believe that doctors' hands are going to be broken. I mean, how could they? How can you not know? How do you position? I don't understand how this could be happening.
Because Larry was a master.
I'm not there to get my hands on him. Seriously.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Issue is the culture and be that way and how roomy people.
This makes me, the more I hear about it, the sicker I get over this, because I can't believe this happened in front of the parents too. And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know you said that he had ways of positioning himself so no one couldn't see. But if the parents weren't there, was there a female nurse in there with them? Because generally, I know when I go to the doctor, when I go to my OBGYN and I happen to have a male one, there's always a female in the room. Or even when I had a male doctor, there was always a female nurse in there. Or when I was younger, my mother would go into the room with me. I mean, are some of these girls alone too with this guy?
Yep, 90% of them.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Yeah, no. There's no way I'm ever letting my kids not in a room. I'm going to be watching like a hawk every little thing, because no way I'm letting this happen to my babies.
Yeah, if you want a good report about how to ruin people, you should go check out Lauren internet. Go to and knew how he manipulated people. He wrote a great piece a couple of days ago about his behavior. So it's believe, but it's really well. Or national team, he was in the room where other people.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. You almost don't even want to let your child do any of this because of I mean, I know anything can happen anywhere, obviously, but it can happen in a school, it can happen at church, it can happen anywhere. But you almost don't want to you almost want your babies to live in a bubble to prevent from. I mean, I know obviously I'm never going to do that, and that's not feasible. But you almost want your babies in a bubble because to keep these monsters away.
Yeah. So right now, as it stands. Who was the owner? It was the owner of named, and many of these girls trained at Woods first. I've been suspected final by US. So hopefully they'll be fired, and the girls will go elsewhere. It's awful. I cannot.
Let me ask you this: all this scandal happened, were any of these people even screened or have any background checks, or are we going to start doing background checks on these people to make sure they don't have any of this?
Well, that was the Star report. Sorry, you're echoing. Was that background checks only work state to state unless you pay for the state, and the federal does not. So when you a person's background check, it only covers that state. So that's why these were hiring coaches who would have girls in another state, and we're not seeing a red flag. A lot of these coaches were left, or they were arrested, or And so you get to this point where you have this thick on one coach. Because USAG kept getting letter after letter, but not doing anything about it.
No, this needs to change. I hope this wakes everybody the F up and we start changing things, because this is not okay. I mean, we need to let people know what's going on, and I don't care what it costs, what they have to do. They should do background checks on every single state, do the biggest background check you can, because you're putting the lives of children in danger. And they should be doing so much more to prevent stuff from happening. I mean, to file the sick, there's absolutely no excuse for that.
Well, and there's a lot of nuance. I think people don't understand USAG, the culture, and I think that's going to change with president when they fired all the resign. The CEO basically head of the USC letter to the board all resign. 4 of them as of this or this afternoon. So with the new culture, things will change. We have a report that was done last year, maybe in September, I think, of what changes need to do. This includes Safe Sports, which is an organization that helps protect against sex abuse, all that sort of thing. I don't know. It's hard to say because so are needed. You change them without cutting out other things. Coaches need to be removed, but without actual physical training. It's still somebody to stop coaching. I mean, you can take your membership, but without they can coach without being a USAG member. Their kids just can't be USAG members. So it's and I think that's another reason the media. I hope like a lot of us in that community have been to help at all for the last months. Only until Allie raised really came forward and said she was abused. Then they started covering it, and it wasn't from Allie. It wasn't from Allie. It's fine, but you have people that answer forward, and you called a whore, and it was called a whore, and US going after her boyfriend's sex life.
What does that have to do with anything? See, this is why people don't come out about stuff like this, because they're gonna go and do all this and that. No. Yeah. See, this is why it's so hard for victims, and it makes me this whole thing just. The more I hear, the more angry I get.
Yeah. You know, he could have been stopped 25 years ago. Nobody did a thing, and that's why it's so hard. Is realizing something like Kyle Stevens she was 6, coming forward. Yes. Yeah. Go listen to Kyle. The first person to speak. On Tuesday last week.
Holy, what the?
Yeah. She is the only non-athlete.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. 175 years is not enough for this dude. This guy needs to be like castrated, executed. 6. What?
Yeah. Go look at Kyle. It's graphic. But this of women and their husbands, I'm hoping he start to change the USAG. And there have been people that have come out Kathy Johnson Clark, who was for I'm gonna get this wrong. 4, I believe. Anyway, she's a now gymnastics doctor. She speak out about the culture of fear and abuse, and was basically shut down. So it's a long time.
Something needs to be changed. Something needs to be done. Like, this whole culture needs to change, and we need to really help, do more to help these girls with this. And, maybe coaching has to be different. Maybe they need to learn how to teach them to speak up. I don't buy the whole, oh, you don't do this, you don't. No. I was not raised that way. I'm a New York Italian woman. We were not raised this way. We were raised with something wrong, you speak up and F everything else. I mean, you don't do that. I don't care if it's cultural. I don't care if this is the coach's way. Nope, if a coach did something like that, that's the way. No, I'm serious. It's not funny. That's seriously how it was. I know you're not. I know how you feel, but yeah, that's how we were raised back in New York. We never put up with stuff like that.
As a gymnast, I had a great coach. My coach was amazing, and I there were times my mom. So my was in the middle of a mall. Great. Our floor exercise was in the legal section. Times my mom brought me to go shopping, and I would shut up when I said. So I would be alone in this gym. But my coach was awesome and amazing. Coaches. So he was one to explain why he was the way he was, why I needed the way I should. So that's the way you should coach versus this is how it's done, don't question. Type of thing. I think saw Simone's coach, Maggie Nichols' coach, Thornton Johnson's coach, how they approach the coaching. The younger coaches will start to that way, and things will change. I am nervous about Larry. We will wait and see. But I am.
Yeah, now, Simone, was she a victim? I keep hearing conflicting reports of whether or not she was a victim or not. She was, right?
She actually I think it's hilarious but she actually came out when Gabby did. Because they had a Twitter
victim too.
And Gabby was talking about Allie. And Gabby's comment was wrong, but there's a lot of nuances with Gabby. And Simone basically replied about being and didn't. And so she actually said that she was a victim, not saying anything. And then she came out. What was it? A month and a half ago? Months? Something like that.
These poor babies. Oh my god. It's like Simone hasn't been through enough already in her life.
Well, not only that. There's other stuff that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
They're the 420 world. That team should have imploded. The mental stress.
Right.
Maggie's coach reported because that's when that happened right before World. And an investigator came Allie and Maggie right before Worlds. And then they had to go to Worlds. It's like there was so much stress on that team that finally Simone she asked, she demanded that they get a break training. And Marta finally gave it to them. That team, so much else going on. how they just
It's just such a scandalous world in the gymnastics world. I loved doing gymnastics as a kid, but if my daughter or son want to do gymnastics, I don't think I would let them go this far. I mean, yeah, maybe if they wanted to, if they were of a certain age, maybe I would consider it, but I don't want my child to have to go through this. I mean, there's so much that you don't know about that I'm learning now, and I'm just like, I would never want my kid, or any kid for that matter, to have to go through all this.
don't get me wrong. It's a great.
Oh, sure, yeah, I know.
There's just a culture that you have to put in the I think that's the biggest. And understanding the rules to coaching. And a lot of that's the other issue. Have the parents segregate in that they're a room and have a window. And talk to the gymnasts. I understand. To some extent. But I think the segregation needs to be at least hear what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
So you just have to, I think, find the right coach. And there are out there.
Oh gosh, they may be out there, but it's a little too late for these 100-some-odd victims that had their lives and their childhood and their innocence destroyed.
Yeah. But remember, it's not just gymnastics. Gymnastics just went about it wrong. A good way. Yeah. USA actually does a great thing where if someone violates policy, they are named. You can actually go see the list of banned coaches from US figure skating. It's on the website.
Good, as it should be. It's disgusting. I mean, I know what happens in sports. I mean, I lived in State College where the whole Penn State scandal happened, so I know it happens in all sports, but more needs to be done. Laws need to be changed. More needs to be done. I mean, there's absolutely no excuse that 100-some-odd victims that have their innocence destroyed. There's absolutely it's disgusting.
I was talking to my friend Lauren, and she's basically seen that.
She's what?
Lauren thinks there's spout of Nassar's victim.
Wow.
He's been involved in women's gymnastics.
It's so sad. It's just the whole thing just pisses me off to no end.
Yeah. It makes me mad. I think one of the word is Michigan State's response. Granted, Anna Simon resigned yesterday. Things have all kind of like jumped.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like looking at it. It's like everything that happened so fast that it's like I don't know what day what happened. You just know it happened.
Yeah. The president of Michigan State finally. Although don't go read the letter. And it's and it turned out earlier this afternoon that Michigan State failed to turn over documents to the investigator.
Yeah, that person belongs in jail or reprimanded too.
She's now their assistant.
Of course she is.
Yeah. Well, in Michigan State, under Department of Education investigation for Title IX. Not just gymnastics, but football and other stuff as well. So there's a lot of issues that need to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Something needs to be done in all these sports. I mean, like I said, I'm almost not wanting to put my kids in sport. I mean, I know, like I said before, anything can happen anywhere. It can happen in a church group. It can happen in dance or singing or whatnot. But it's just like it seems like it happens more prevalently in sports. And it's just like you almost don't want to put your kids into something because you're afraid of what could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not realistic. I'm not going to say I'm going to not let my kids do anything. I'm just saying it really gives you a lot to think about.
It does, and it makes you question things, and it's important. I think it's important to do research. Basically, get references from former athletes, former parents of athletes, and do your homework. It's kind of the thing. And
Exactly.
where to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you could really do. I mean, I just pray to God tonight and every night that there's no more victims after this, and something's done.
Well,
something needs to be done.
He's basically in jail, so yeah.
I would but I don't want to get kicked off YouTube for saying what I want to have done to him.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah. On that
There
note,
were lots of that.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of us that we'll probably want a lot done, more done than letting him be in jail. Anyway, on that note, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being on. And are you back? Are you in for being back for the Olympics with figure skating and lots of Olympic? This is coming up. Olympic necessity.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk. All right. Thank you for being on. Thank you all for watching, and talk soon. Bye.